Good morning, class. I hope we're all well. So, this is week 4, lesson 8, and the assignment for this week is to please describe how the economic depression affected both Germany and Japan. And we'll move on to the economic depression of 1929 and how it affected the League of Nations. So, the Wall Street crash in the USA caused global economic problems, and trade and industry were affected. As such, relations between countries deteriorated and led to political changes within countries. And then we'll look at some of the changes that took place in the 1930s. One was that America stopped giving loans, which affected businesses in other countries. Hence, there was an increase in unemployment. And two, tariffs to stop imports further affected businesses. The third is that countries started to rearm, that is to build up their armed forces in order to create jobs and to promote industries. And these countries were Japan, Britain, Italy, and Germany. And then the fourth change that took place in the 1930s is that in America, nearly 2,000 banks collapsed as people withdrew their savings. And the fifth change that took place is that 3 years later, over 12 million people were unemployed in the USA. So we'll look at how the economic depression affected the League's 1920s international cooperation spirit. And one is that Britain, despite being one of the leaders of the League, was unwilling to sort out international disputes while her economy was suffering. For example, Britain did not try to resolve the Manchuria crisis as her priority was to rebuild her economy. And the second is that we see that depression forced the USA to stop helping imposing economic sanctions. This would further weaken its economy. And third is that Germany was adversely affected by the depression. There was increased unemployment, poverty, and chaos in Germany. And in light of this, Adolf Hitler rose to power, though he was not in good terms with international powers. And Hitler planned to invade Germany's neighboring countries and make Germany great again after Germany had lost in the First World War. Then the fourth, we see that Italy was faced with economic crisis, and this encouraged Mussolini to attempt building empires overseas as a plan to distract people's attention from the difficulties that the government was undergoing. Then the fifth, we find that Japan was threatened by bankruptcy by the Depression, as her main export was silk to the USA, and due to the economic depression, the USA was buying less and less, and as such, there was less money to buy raw materials. And we see that Japan planned on taking over empires, weaker countries that could provide the raw materials that Japan needed. And as a start, Japan invaded Manchuria in China in the Far East in 1931. And then if you'll take a closer look at the image, if you'll take a closer look at the image below, we'll see that it gives you an idea of the railway and natural resources of Manchuria, also the distance between Manchuria and Japan, and how the invasion took place by sea as well as by land.